All right, everybody, welcome to our marketing broadcast. So we're doing a follow-up session today on StumbleUpon.com because a lot of my clients aren't currently using it, and they should be. We talked about this about a year ago. It was actually in April of 2016. I discussed this, introduced you guys to it. Now, granted, a lot of you guys weren't even working with me back in 2016 in April, right? So you wouldn't have been there for this. So this is your first time. But regardless, I'm finding most clients aren't adopting it or using it in any way in their marketing strategy, and they should be. So I want to talk about what it is and how to use it tonight to make sure you're taking some advantage of StumbleUpon. But like anything, guys, you can't really understand how to market with this thing until you have actually done it on a personal level. And I kind of maintain that on any social network, whether it be Facebook or Twitter or Pinterest or Instagram or any of those major social networks that people are using. It's hard to use it as a business and to really advertise and market on it if you haven't done a lot personally. Now, I'm not saying you have to, right? You don't have to use social media extensively on a personal level to be able to take advantage of this, but it does help. I will say that. So one of my recommendations here tonight is going to be, if you don't have a StumbleUpon account, go set one up. Very easy to set up. In fact, I'm not even going to show you how to set it up because it's very simple. You can come in here. You'll see some options here on the screen. I'm just going to circle this right here in the middle. You can either set it up through a personal Facebook account, connect through Google+, or you can sign up with an email account right here. And if you prefer to do that, go ahead and do it. But I won't walk you through the process. It's like any other social account. Set it up, create a profile, and then you'll be ready to go. Okay? All right, so let me get rid of all the black on the screen here. Okay, once you're into your StumbleUpon account, it's going to look a little like this. So let me change my pen color for just a sec. I'm going to change this to, let me change it to red. And let me highlight this at the top, okay? Right here, you see this black bar? And then you've got this button right here that says Stumble. You guys see that okay? I'm going to circle the Stumble button. This is the StumbleUpon bar. So when you log into your StumbleUpon account, it'll look like this. You'll have this bar running across the screen, okay? Let me just point out some of the things you'll want to know about this bar. And let me explain what StumbleUpon is about first, I guess. I mean, it's kind of hard to explain unless I'm showing you how to do it, but I'm going to try to explain it anyway. StumbleUpon is a way to sort the internet a little bit, right? So like when you go to Google and do a keyword search, Google determines what you see, right? They determine what shows up when you do a keyword search. Only they determine, right? Google and their formula. StumbleUpon is a way to kind of browse around the internet where you can determine what you see based on your own interests and based on how well other people liked certain pieces of content. So it's a way to sort the internet by popular, well-liked content instead of what Google likes to see. And most people that use StumbleUpon are using it because they're just maybe looking to kill a little bit of time. So I want to define the StumbleUpon user and why they're on StumbleUpon. I guess it's similar to a lot of social media. You could ask yourself and others why you spend time on Facebook or why you spend time on Twitter, Instagram, and you'll get a lot of different answers. You know, to connect with family, right? To see what your friends are doing, to stay on top of news and other topics. So you can, that's all part of social media. People who use StumbleUpon are mainly just going there for a little bit of entertainment, okay? Which I would argue is really the reason why most people get onto social media, is just for some entertainment, right? But StumbleUpon is especially that way because you don't really connect with friends and family. There's a social aspect to it, but it's more just to entertain you. So when you sign up for your StumbleUpon account, StumbleUpon is actually going to ask you what your interests are. And in this account, this particular StumbleUpon account, this is for one of my businesses. I can edit my interests, and I can choose all kinds of things. So on this particular account, I've selected 34 interests: American football, banking, basketball, board games, business, capitalism, economics, e-commerce, entrepreneurship, financial planning. These are some of the interests that I picked, okay? And you can pick whatever interests you want. I mean, literally, there's probably a topic or a category for almost anything that you want. Arts and history, commerce, health, home and living. You can come through here and say you're interested in landscaping or pets or married life or kids or, whatever. You could go to music and movies. I'm interested in drama movies or foreign films or guitar or horror movies, whatever, right? And you can scroll through here and choose all the things that you're interested in, right? And once StumbleUpon knows what you're interested in, you can then sort of stumble through the internet, and I'll show you how that works. So I come up here and I select a topic, and I'm going to select nutrition because that's an interest of mine. So I select it. And what StumbleUpon does is it automatically sort of just throws up a random web page about nutrition. I didn't choose this. I just chose the topic. StumbleUpon is giving me a page on the internet about it. And I come in here and I can read it, right? I'm trying to be entertained. I've got some downtime right now. Maybe I'm just hanging out at the house, or I'm hanging out here at the office, and I've got 5 or 10 minutes to kill, and I'm looking for some interesting stuff. I'm on StumbleUpon looking in the nutrition section. So I look at this piece of content. This is about foods that pack a protein punch, it says. It looks like an infographic. Grams of protein needed per day for a specific age groups, right? And I can scroll down anyway. This might be interesting to me if I'm interested in nutrition. If I like this content, right? Like this is giving me ideal sources of protein: broccoli, black beans, peas, soybeans, whatever. Okay, and I scroll down this, and I'm like, yeah, this is a nice piece of content. I'm glad I found this, right? I can come up here to the top of the screen, and I'm going to circle it. I can either thumb it up. That's one option. I could thumb it down. That's another option. I can stumble again, which means I just go to a new page. That's a third option. My fourth option is I could share this. My fifth option is I could bookmark it. So if I thumb it up, option number one, if I click the thumbs up, guys, what does that mean in most social networks? It's pretty intuitive if you do any social networking, right? Thumbs up is that you what? You like the content, right? This piece of content here, which was submitted by a user at some point, if it gets thumbed up enough, it's going to show up a lot when people search the nutrition section or stumble the nutrition section. If I thumb this content down, I tell StumbleUpon that this really isn't a very good piece of content. I'm not all that interested in whatever it's showing, and that StumbleUpon shouldn't show it quite so much. And again, if this piece of content gets enough of those thumb down votes, well then StumbleUpon is going to stop showing it altogether. Okay? I can share it on other social media. I can bookmark it and save it for later to look at. Or, like I said, I can just click this stumble button and I can move on to the next piece of content. Let's just do that. I'm not going to thumb it up or thumb it down. I wasn't particularly enamored by this piece of content, so I'm just going to move on to the next one. Okay? Stumble. All right, here we go. Next piece of content. So I click I always call it the magic stumble button, right? So I click this button, and it magically gives me a new piece of content. This one is called 8 Things Stomach Doctors Always Tell Their Friends. We know talking about this stuff can be so embarrassing. Good thing these top doctors are willing to let it out. Okay, so I could go through this if I were interested, right? And decide if I like this piece of content. I want you to notice, though, as I stumble through some content, what type of content is coming up. Okay? This is the 6 creepiest lies the food industry is feeding you. Okay, number 6, your honey and spices are fake. Number 5, the chicken is pumped full of weird liquids. Okay, so on and so forth. I could read through these 6 lies, apparently. 4, your meat might be made from glued together scraps. Okay, anyway. This may not be interesting to you guys or me, right? I'm actually not particularly interested in this, so I'm going to thumb it down, okay? That shows my distaste for this piece of content. I don't like it. I'm thumbing it down, and then I stumble again. But what are you noticing, guys? Give me some feedback here as we're talking. What kind of pieces of content are showing up here? What kind of sites are showing up as we're going through this stuff? This one's called 21 Simple Health Hacks You Can Use Every Day. I could scroll through this. 1, take a cold shower. Then they've got an explanation. 2, try intermittent fasting. 3, eat without distractions. Okay. Breathe into your belly, so on and so forth. Okay. Stumble again. This automatically is showing up with what? A video. It's a YouTube video that's coming up. You guys can't hear the audio. I can. It's kind of distracting, so I'm going to pause that and just re-stumble. So a video came up. This piece of content is world life expectancy. Okay, so if I click on Utah, what does it say? Oh, okay. Overweight, obesity, physical activity by state. Okay, so it's kind of like an infograph here. All right, or an infographic. Stumble. Takes me to a site called Sugar Stacks. Interesting. So the number of carrots it takes to equal whatever's in a bottle of Coke. Number of carrots that equals a Snickers bar or Twinkies or okay. Anyway, you get the point. If you guys were into health stuff, this all might be interesting, right? Some of you guys are like, why are we even looking at this content? Well, that's because, again, we're stumbling the nutrition section, right? I could change this topic if you wanted to, and we could start stumbling something else altogether. We could start stumbling what? Entrepreneurship. And it'll start giving me content of entrepreneurship caliber type stuff, okay? Mike says, do baseball. I wonder if I like any baseball stuff. If I don't, let's search interests, baseball. Hold on, let's edit interests. See if I can find something on baseball. Where's sports? Hobbies, maybe? No. Oh, sports, right here. Baseball. Okay, here it is. So I click on that then, Mike, and I'm now following baseball. So if I come up here, I should be able to find the baseball. Here it is, baseball. Now I can stumble anything baseball related. Infographic, the first thing that came up, the differing dimensions of every stadium in baseball. Okay, that's kind of a cool piece of content. I'm going to thumb it up, stumble. This looks like a blog that came up, 11 Major League Baseball feats that have only happened once. This is sort of like an article, okay? If you're a baseball buff, you'd love this stuff. What's cool about StumbleUpon is the stuff that it's actually kicking out to me is mostly going to be stuff that people have already seen and voted up, so it's probably going to be pretty cool content. And that's what makes StumbleUpon awfully unique is I choose a topic, and StumbleUpon gives me content that other people think is pretty darn cool, which is kind of nice, right? I don't have to go hunting down cool baseball content and looking through Google to fill my time. I just, bam, I get cool baseball content right in front of my face, right? That's the magic of StumbleUpon. It is a tremendous time waster if you need one. and I want you to know that's the purpose. Most people here are using StumbleUpon because they're interested in the topic. They want to waste some time. They get on here and they kill some time this way. That's the type of traffic you're seeing here. And you guys are right. I mean, things are a lot of the content is blog content for sure. There's video content, articles, infographics, absolutely. We've seen some infographics come up. So you can see the type of content that is considered StumbleUpon type content, right? Does that make sense, guys, how to use this? I'm going to relate this back to marketing and trying to make money online now, but I just want to make sure you guys are getting the general concept. Again, you're not going to really get this probably until you get in here and use it, so I'm going to encourage you to do that. Yeah, it's pretty current, I would say, Shelly. I mean, if something, well, actually, I don't know. You can see I've got my March Madness stuff up here, right? Shelly just asked me about that. I've been tracking it, right? You got to track your bracket today. But yeah, yes and no. Like if it's a cool piece of content and it's current and people are voting it up, yeah, you'll see it. But I would say it's more just like any content that's been posted in the past that people love and currently vote up. You know, it's going to be older content if it's still relevant. It's like if I were stumbling the politics section and it started to produce content that was about the election, you know, that was kind of like old news, I'm sure a lot of that would get voted down because it's old and people don't care about it. If it was something new and interesting and current, it would get voted up. So I would say it would produce, you know, more current stuff for sure. If this doesn't make sense, guys, just get an account and try it and use it on a personal level. Can I just recommend that? Catherine, you've been doing that, which is great. You got to use it first. If you got in here and just tried to start marketing without using this, it'd be hard to do. So I'm glad we're talking about this. Now, real briefly, and maybe we'll spend more time on this next week, but how does this all relate to making money on the internet? Can somebody connect to that dot for me? How can we use StumbleUpon here then to make money online? Why am I showing you this stuff anyway? Somebody connect the dot for me. I've shown you what it does. Okay, we'll stumble another page while you guys are maybe giving me some information. This is taking me to a Business Insider. Looks like it's a video that's coming up. Hitting a major league fastball should be physically impossible is the name of the video. Hold on, let me let this ad finish. Okay, here we go. So now it's a 2.5-minute video about, I guess, apparently how hitting a fastball is nearly impossible. Allison, you say if 4 out of 5 posts are to be informative, then this is a source for those informative social posts. Okay. So how this might relate to our business, I mean, if you're going to be sharing on your social accounts, you know, Facebook and Twitter and all your social stuff, if your job is to share cool, interesting content, and then on occasion share promotions and stuff on your social media. So let's say I own a site that sells computers, right? I may stumble the tech section of StumbleUpon and find cool computer pieces of content and take this stuff and share it, right? I can share that on my Facebook and give my followers interesting content. That's one way to use it. Sure, Allison. How's that helpful? Well, it makes it to where my content I'm sharing is interesting, doesn't it? If you're doing social media, like you can't possibly do Facebook as a business and then every single day, me as a computer company, just share sales about things that I'm trying to sell on my from my computer company. Like people don't care about that. Soon they're going to phase me out. They're going to ignore me. But if I'm sharing really cool articles and videos, and every once in a while I share a promotional type post, and that's helpful. This would be a good spot to get information. Sure, I like that. How about from an affiliate marketing standpoint? What have you noticed about a lot of these pages, guys? There's ads, right? There was an ad on this video when it first started. These are actually ads right here, right? If I own a blog or a website, I can submit my content to StumbleUpon and have affiliate ads inside it and make money off of that. I could have AdSense. I could have affiliate links and banners. And if I get a piece of content that gets a lot of traffic out of StumbleUpon, you got to remember StumbleUpon is an extremely popular website on the internet. It's not a Facebook, it's not a Twitter, it's not something that all of you guys have heard of. But I was looking at some stats the other day, and I think it's like the 1,000th most popular site in the United States. Now you may say, well, that doesn't seem very good. There's 999 other sites that are more popular. Well, there is, but if you're the 1,000th most popular site in the United States, you are getting a sickening amount of traffic and views. This is an extremely popular site on the internet. So if I get a piece of content that I submit here, and this goes back to how we can make money. If I submit a piece of content and then it's a good piece of content, it's interesting, it has some good images, or like you've seen some examples of content we shared today, you can then potentially drive a tremendous amount of traffic. But remember, it's got to be a decent piece of content. If you tried to submit a product page on your e-commerce site, nobody would ever see it because the people who do see it would downvote it because it's promotional and it's not cool. Right? The stuff that's getting shared here are videos, pictures, articles. It's interesting stuff. That kind of stuff performs well on StumbleUpon. Your product page, your homepage will not. So if you're thinking to yourself, okay, I own a drop shipping website, how am I supposed to make money using this? You also should have a blog, and you should be creating content and articles on that blog that you can then submit to StumbleUpon. And it's very easy to submit a piece of content, by the way. You can come up right here and submit a piece of content. Where's the content submission section again? The interface here changes all the time. Go back out to my profile here. Yeah, here it is. My profile. So I go to my profile, and then there's a link here. Hold on. This is annoying. My profile, there's the link right there. Ad page. So I could go and actually click on that ad page, and I could tell StumbleUpon, if I click on that, I could copy and paste a URL there and actually share a piece of content. I'm not going to do it right now. This is just high level today, but I could share something from my blog or something otherwise, a video or something. I can share that. I can tag it. I can put it in a particular category, and then StumbleUpon they'll start sharing it. And what's cool is, I'll tell you how this has worked for me. I've done this with blogs quite a bit. I've maybe written an interesting blog post and I submit it here, and it goes out to the StumbleUpon world. And if it was actually well written and interesting, I'll get it thumbed up a bunch, and then it'll get seen even more and more and more. And I've got clients that submit all of their blog content here and actually get quite a bit of traffic from it. So it's a great way to get traffic directly to your blog. It's a great way to get people to link to your stuff. And linking helps you in search engines. It helps your entire site rank better. So there's value in getting your blog and content found. It'll help your e-commerce site for sure. A tag is just like what's more information about what this is related to. So baseball is a tag, right? Or whatever, like a hashtag kind of. This is where you actually choose, what this page is about specifically that I'm submitting. So this is about, nutrition or whatever, or it could be other things, right? Corinne says, how do affiliate ads get put on your blog? Does StumbleUpon just have ads listed? No, like you put them on yourself. So you would use different affiliate networks, Corinne, like LinkShare or Commission Junction or ClickBank. You would sign up for accounts there, and then you'd copy those links and put them on your blog. And then when everything's ready to go, you've got your ads on your blog, you submit it to StumbleUpon, and that's how you get your traffic to it. Anyway, I'll go into a little more detail on this later, but tonight, can I just say this? If this is all brand new to you, and even if it's not, and you're not really using this, use it first. Have some fun. Spend an hour a week on it, and just kind of have some fun with it. Use it. Kill some time on it. Turn off the TV and get on to StumbleUpon, and you'd actually be surprised. If you put in stuff that you're really interested in and you start stumbling that stuff, you'll find some incredibly interesting and addictive content, which is fun. And you use it for a while, and then I'm telling you, the light bulb is gonna turn on over your head, and you're gonna say, "Oh, wait a minute, I get it now. If I submit a really good piece of content and I have affiliate ads, or it's a blog connected to my e-commerce site, and a lot of people thumb it up and it gets seen a whole bunch. I mean, you can get thousands of visitors. Like, let's just be clear, thousands of visitors you can get from StumbleUpon. So yeah, I mean, this is extremely valuable. You can get a lot of traffic. So keep that in mind. You need to use it first, and I'd like to see you guys use it on a more consistent basis, because I know a lot of my clients aren't. A lot of you guys say, well, I'm struggling with Google, I can't get traffic. Well, while you're trying to get traffic from Google and doing your SEO, you ought to be doing stuff like this too to help increase your SEO, one, but also to drive some direct traffic. And look, I know this isn't the most quality traffic in the world. I mean, this is mostly people that are just sort of hanging out, killing a little bit of time. But the fringe benefits of doing it are there and helpful for the business for sure. All right. Okay, guys, I think we're going to finish up with that tonight. I hope that was helpful. We'll do some follow-up on StumbleUpon, maybe even next week. So stay tuned for that. And in the meantime, if you'll start using it, we'd appreciate that. It'll go a long way to help you out. Okay? Thanks, guys. We will see you next time.